Are you married to someone whose sexual desire is completely different than yours? If you are, you're not alone. Did you know that 1 out of every 3 couples has a sexual desire gap? This happens so often in my practice that I decided to write a book called The Sex-Starved Marriage, and I'm going to define what I mean by that because it doesn't mean that couples aren't having sex at all. A sex-starved marriage is one where one spouse is desperately longing for more touch, more physical closeness, more sex, and the other spouse is thinking, what is the big deal? Would you just get a life? But to the spouse yearning for more touch, it's a huge deal because it really is about feeling wanted, about feeling loved, about feeling connected. And when this major misunderstanding happens in marriage, what also happens is intimacy goes out the door. They stop sitting next to each other on the couch. They stop laughing at each other's jokes. They stop being friends. They don't even spend time together anymore. And this truly places the marriage at risk of infidelity and of divorce. So what can you do if you're in a sex-starved marriage? I'm going to give 2 tips, one for the high desire spouse and one for the low desire spouse. To the high desire spouse, speak from your heart. So often when you're feeling hurt, initially you're speaking from your heart. You're telling your spouse your feelings about feeling so disconnected. But when your spouse doesn't understand, very quickly your hurt turns to anger and frustration. So now you're getting angry about the wet towel on the floor or about the beer can in the den. That's not really what it's about. It's about your hurt. So go to your spouse and say, I feel so much closer to you when you and I are connected sexually, and lately we haven't been touching. It makes me feel distant. I want to feel closer to you. Can we please plan for more sexual intimacy? It really would make me feel so much better. Let's do it tonight. Now to the spouse who has low desire, here is a tip that works very well all the time. Adopt the Nike philosophy and just do it. I wish I had $1 for each time someone in my practice has said to me, Michele, I really wasn't in the mood for sex when my spouse made advances, but once I got into it, I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. This happens time and time again. And actually, there's some science behind it. Usually when we think about the human sexual response cycle, we think of it in 4 stages. First comes desire, meaning you could be doing just about anything and you have a random lusty thought. Then you get together with your partner and there's physical arousal. And then if your body's working right, you have orgasm. And the 4th stage is resolution, meaning that your body goes back to its normal resting state. But for half the people in the world, stages 1 and 2 are actually reversed, meaning that many people have to be physically aroused before their brains tell them, I really want this. I have desire. If you happen to be one of these people, it doesn't mean that you're not sexy or you're not sexual. It just means that you're wired differently than your spouse. And if that's the case, my suggestion to you is that you are receptive to your spouse's advances, even if you're not in the mood sometime. I often explain this concept to couples in counseling, and one time a man said to me, that's my wife. She never seems to remember every time I approach her that she likes sex. I just wanted to write on her hand, I like sex, so she remembers it for the next time. So speak from your heart and adopt the Nike philosophy, and you'll be well on your way to resolving your sexual desire gap.